Okay, I thought we'd go ahead and work the review examples for the quiz over 3.7 and 3.8. Problem 1 says solve V equals LWH for W. Well, I want to solve for W, that's who I want to get by itself. How are L and H attached? That's right, they're attached by multiplication. So I'm going to divide both sides by L and H. This side they cancel. Divide by L and H. So I end up with W is equal to V divided by L times H. The next one, solve R equals P times V divided by NT, and we want to solve for P. Well, who's in the way? V is in the way and NT is in the way. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply both sides by n times t. Make sure that you put it in the numerator so you can cancel it out. So now we have NTR is equal to P times V. I still want to get P by itself. Now V's in the way, so I'm going to divide both sides by V. So my final answer is P is equal to NTR over V. Now I want to solve A is equal to 1/2 B times H, and I want to solve it for H. Well, I've got a fraction. So the first thing I'm going to do is I want to get rid of this guy. So I'm going to multiply both sides by the reciprocal. So now I have 2 times A is equal to B times H. I'm solving for H. So now I'm going to divide both sides by B. That cancels. So that leaves me with H is equal to 2 times A divided by B. Now I have solve S is equal to pi times S times capital R plus lowercase r, and I want to solve for lowercase r. Well, this r is deep inside the parentheses, so I'll kind of have to unlock the gate. Well, who's keeping the gate closed? Pi and s are in my way. I'm going to divide both sides by pi times s. And notice this other s is a lowercase s, so these s's will not cancel. So I have capital S over pi times lowercase s, and that's equal to capital R plus lowercase r. Well, I still want to get r by itself. I've got this capital R hanging around, so now I'm going to subtract both sides by r. So my final answer is s divided by pi times lowercase s minus r is equal to lowercase r. Now the directions say to rewrite the equation so that y is a function of x. Now all that really means for me is, hey, solve for y. So I want to get y all by itself. Well, the first thing I have to do is I have to move this 3x. This 3x is connected to 2y, in this case addition. So I'm going to subtract 3x. Now I'm subtracting 3x because I have a positive 3x. So I'm subtracting 3x from both sides. Now I have 2y is equal to 12 minus 3x. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to divide both sides by 2. So my final answer is y is equal to 12 minus 3x divided by 2. Now another answer that you could have that means exactly the same thing would be y is equal to negative 3x plus 12 divided by 2. Or you could have done a little simplifying and you could have had y equals 6 minus 3 over x divided by 2. So any of these answers are correct. Now your directions say rewrite the equation so that b is a function of a. That means, hey, solve for b. So I want to get b all by itself, and look, it's locked up here in the parentheses. Now this one I'm looking, I've got two options. I can multiply by the reciprocal to get rid of this 1/2 so I can unlock my gate. Or I notice that 2 is a multiple of 2 and 10 is a multiple of 2. So I could distribute this 1/2 and that'll work just as well. So let's look at it. Let's do it both ways. I'm going to distribute first. So if I distribute 1/2 times 2a, that's going to give me 2a over 2. 1/2 times 10b, so plus 10b over 2 is all equal to 8. I'm going to simplify, so I'm going to have a plus 5b is equal to 8. Going to subtract a from both sides. So now I have 5b is equal to 8 minus a. Going to divide both sides by 5. So I get that b is equal to 8 minus a divided by 5. Okay, now what happens if I don't distribute? You're going to get the same answer, it's just going to look a little bit different. So I have 1/2 times 2 times a plus 10b is equal to 8. Now when I multiply by the reciprocal, I'm going to get rid of this fraction. And it's a really good fraction to multiply by because my numerator was 1, so when I multiply by the reciprocal, I'm multiplying by a whole number. So now I have 2a plus 10b is equal to 16. 8 times 2 is 16. I still need to get b by itself. I'm going to subtract 2a from both sides. So now I have 10b is equal to 16 minus 2a. Divide both sides by 10. And then I have b is equal to 16 minus 2a over 10. Now if I were to simplify this, 16 and 10, that'll reduce by 2. I could also have b is equal to 8 minus a over 5. So these are both correct. Sometimes you may not see to simplify right here, but your answer is still going to work. Now they want us to use the result from problem 6 to find the value of b when a is -1, 0, or 1. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to write down our answer. Let's see, we had b is equal to 8 minus a divided by 5. This is my a value, my input. This is my b value, also known as my output. So b is equal to 8 minus -1 is what I'm going to plug in for a, divided by 5. So that's really 8 plus 1 divided by 5, because negative negative is a positive. So my answer is 9 over 5. The second one, I have b is equal to 8 minus 0 over 5. Oh, well, that's just going to give me 8 over 5. Next, I have b is equal to 8 minus 1 over 5. 8 minus 1 is 7, so I end up with 7 over 5. Notice my pattern. 9 over 5, 8 over 5, 7 over 5. the numerator decreases by 1 each time. Okay, now we're going to be converting some Swiss francs to US dollars. They tell us that 1 Swiss franc is $0.746. I always like to set up using my unit analysis. So we're starting with francs. I want to end up with dollars. So I need francs in my denominator, dollars in my numerator. So now let's plug in what we know. I have 325 francs. I have $0.746 for each 1 franc. Francs cancel. So now I have 325 times 0.746. So my answer is, when I multiply this, $242.45. Number 9, you made $68.75 for working 11 hours. What was your hourly rate of pay? Okay, so you're looking for your pay per hour. Well, what's your pay? Oh, it's $68.75. What's your hours? 11. So let's divide that. When you divide that, you're going to get $6.25 per hour. Find the percent. Round to the nearest whole percent. The tax on a sale of $12.25 was $1.10. What are we looking for? We're looking for our tax rate. So I'm just going to call it X. 12.25 times X is going to give me $1.10. I'm going to divide both sides by $12.25. So now I have X is equal to 0.09. Now in French, cent, C-E-N-T, means 100. So when I want to convert this decimal to percent, I know it's per 100. So X is equal to 9%. So if I multiply it by 100, I get 9%. It's going to move my decimal place 2 places. Okay, write and solve an equation to find the answer. Circle your answer. A school's population increased by 42 students. This was a 3% increase. About how many students attended before the increase? Well, I know whatever the population was, that's what I'm looking for, so I'm just going to call that X. And if I multiply this by 3%, so 0.03, I'm going to get 42. Divide both sides by 0.03 because I'm looking for the number of students. And 42 divided by 0.03, I know that my school had 1,400 students. Out of 525 people surveyed, 210 answered yes. So this one, you can set up a proportion. 210, the part of the sample, over the whole, is equal to, we were looking for how many people said yes, out of the whole, which is 1,100. When you cross multiply, you get 525 is equal to, 525x is equal to 231,000. Divide both sides by 525. And you have x is equal